MyTCC scholars, good evening and welcome to the first official day of class. So it's Professor Lopez and little Miss Boss Baby Lopez in all her magnificent glory, as you can see right here. There she is. So we might actually get to see if she moves for y'all. She was awake a little while ago. Okay, so as promised, I did get a chance to go ahead and start releasing some of your assignments. Now, before I did that, I did send out an announcement asking you to mute your notifications if you have the Blackboard app installed on your phone, tablet, or other smart device, because I'm still moving a few things around. And then I will send you a second notification probably sometime tomorrow morning to let you know when you can actually go in there and start on the assignments. So again, please do not touch anything right now, but I am going to show you where everything is located. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so what you need to do is you open up your internet browser and you're going to go to MyTCC. So it's my.tccd.edu. Okay. And then you're going to scroll down to our course. You're going to click on the course name. And then if you direct your attention over to the left side of your screen, and again, if you're on a touch screen, you may have to expand the menu out. Like I mentioned in my previous video, you'll see all these additional tabs that were not here in my previous video. So let's walk through what each of these tabs are. So the course homepage is going to actually take you to this particular page where we are. So this is going to be the official landing page for the class, so you can actually see your grades. You see my grade for one of my things that I did myself, as well as announcements for the course. If there's any type of notifications that are pressing, that will pop up on your respective pages. You already know where the syllabus and ICR is located. I showed you that in the previous video. So remember, I pasted it in there, as well as I attached a Word document and I attached a PDF document. So it's in there 3 different times, and it's also in WebAdvisor. So you have access to it 4 different ways. If you go under Course Resources, then you will see some important course guides here. So here's a close-up snapshot of the course rubric and grading scale. So that's going to tell you how the specific assignments for the course are going to be graded and what the grading breakdown is going to be. On one of your assignments in Unit 1, it's going to reference a question. You're going to see a question related to this. I think it's going to be your last assignment for Unit 1, so hint, hint, it is right here in Course Resources. And then you're going to see some other rubrics here. So anytime you see the word rubric, that's just telling you how is the assignment going to be graded. So you know up front before you actually start on it. So as you get to these different assignments, glance over the rubric so that way you'll know what I'll be looking for when I'm grading it. So it's not just for your major assignments, but even some of your journals, your writing assignments, it's all going to be here for you. And then there's going to be some other helpful resources that are listed. Okay. Then if you come over to Student Resources, that's going to redirect you over to TCC's homepage. So see, it's an external link. And then it's going to give you some of our in-house resources. So this is going to align with chapters 1 and 2 in your textbook, where they start talking about the different campus resources that are available to you. Now, ours might have different, names that are specific to Tarrant County College, but remember, it is the same concept. That's going to be especially prevalent in chapter 2 when you read that. All right. I apologize, I'm a little stuffy today. Then if you go under course materials, that's going to provide you with the link for our textbook information. So if you recall from the previous video that I sent out to you, I did send you a link for a third-party seller that had the book at a lower cost. This is our internal bookstore, so you are welcome to also download or purchase the hard copy book from here too. So remember, the brick and mortar stores are not open, but you can order it. It's just you would want to confirm with them how long it would take for you to receive it. For that reason, I would probably go with the digital copy, so it will grant you instant access. So whether it's with us or whether it's with Vital Source, which is the information I shared with you on the previous video, where the book is $17, I think it's $17.59. Either one is fine. Just make sure it is the 3rd edition. This is the ISBN that you need to use if you're gonna shop for it anywhere else, such as Amazon, eBay, Chegg, or Cheap Books. All right. Okay, you already know where the announcements are, complete with the lovely announcement that I did post that said, please mute your MyTCC Blackboard app. And I'm turning on the assignments as well as your course due dates. They are listed right here. I only used 4. So I made your stuff due for the most part on Tuesdays, so you would have a full week to complete it. So 2 units a week. So units 1 and 2 will be due next week, so a week from today, and so on. And then I'm going to give you 2 extra days to get units 7 and 8 completed, because that's when your life goals paper and your project are due. So you're going to want to start those earlier. Actually, you're going to be working on a draft for unit 6. So you'll have started the paper by the middle of the month, and then you're going to finalize it by the time we get to that first week of July. So just know you've got a project coming up and you have a paper, an essay that's due as well. Don't wait until the 2nd to try to crank those out. You'll run out of time. And then I'm under a time crunch to get your grades in on time as well. So I have to have everything on July 2nd, period. There's not a way around it, okay? But you can turn things in early. So what I would do is, you can click through each unit and you can start kind of jotting down the assignments and when you want to start working on them. That you can do now. And then, of course, here's where your lessons are going to be. So there's unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally 8. So there's unit 1. So it gives you a description of what you need to complete, and then what your due date's going to be. So again, your stuff's going to be due a week from today. So on or before Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. So can you start on it earlier? Can you turn it all in early? Absolutely. You just need to make sure that everything is turned in before this date. So even if you don't finish something, partial credit is better than taking a 0. So govern yourselves accordingly. Space out the assignments over the course of 2 or 3 days. Whatever you do, don't try to do 2 units in one day. Especially if you're working, you'll most likely run out of time to get everything completed, and it's going to create unnecessary stress, especially because you already know what's coming. All right. So there's a lot of assignments, but they're not difficult. And I did it that way just in case you have an off day, that you won't be in a situation where you tank on one assignment and then all of a sudden it puts you at a C in the course or you fail the course. I've always been one to advocate for having multiple assignments, so then that way you have that safety net built in, so you can take a hit in case something happens. Emergencies do happen. People get sick. You get called into work. Children get sick. You name it, it does happen. So then you can see that there. So there's your welcome Unit 1 lesson. So each time you need to access a lesson, you click on the title. Then your discussion board post is going to be here. So we want you to tell us about yourself. So you can introduce yourself to the class. I would say if you want to get a little bit more creative with it and you want to do it in video format, you want to post a couple of appropriate pictures, you know, keep it classy, then, you know, you're welcome to. I had some people in the previous class post some pictures of their pets, their family members. You're welcome to do that. Saw a couple of things where some people posted a couple of fun memes and, you know, some videos and stuff like that too. That's fine too. You know, if you want to be a little bit more creative with that, I'm cool with it. One of your assignments right here is based off of this video. So you'll watch the video and respond to the journal. There's the instructions for it. This is the link to actually access the journal itself. So you have to actually click on the title, but watch the video first and then go here. And you see it's a YouTube link. So this is one that is compatible with your mobile device. And then your scavenger hunt activity, it's built in to MyTCC. So this is one you might not want to attempt on a mobile device. I would try to do this one on a regular computer, because there's going to be some questions that are embedded that you have to answer. There's only 10. It's really short. And then at the very end, for question number 10, there's going to be something that you need to send to me directly. You're going to send it to me via email. That's why I emailed you the other day, so you would know for sure that you have the correct email address for me. And that's once I get that last part from question number 10, that's how I'll know you're done with Unit 1. And then as you keep going, then you'll see your stuff for Unit 2. So Unit 2 is going to align with Chapter 4 in the textbook, which has to do with time management. So remember, you've got the spinning plates going on, so we've got to make sure that we manage work plus school plus family plus anything else that is on your plate. And how do we become super at it? And more importantly, how do we make sure that school is a priority? Because it is laying the foundation for your future. So it's one of those things where, you know, you might have to table a couple of things. You might have to delegate a couple of things. Some stuff that you normally work on during the week, you might not be able to do that. You know, when my husband and I were both studying at the same time, you know, people would ask us, oh, do y'all cook during the week? No, we don't. Because, well, by the time we get home from work, it's like 8:30 or 9 o'clock anyway. So we cook on the weekends and we will meal prep. So we'll make 2 or 3 different things over the weekend. We'll package everything up, and that's what we would take to work. And we actually still do that now, even though we're working from home. So that way that frees up that time during the week, because even though we're working from home, we're both still working 10 plus hour days. So there's certain things that, you know, you may have to postpone. You may have to get some family members to assist you with, and, you know, sit down, talk with your significant other and make sure they understand what this whole thing about going to school actually means, because it can put a strain on the relationship. So, you know, it's a team effort. It's going to be something that, you know, especially if you're working on a degree, it's going to dictate your life for the next couple of years. So you've got to be able to work on a united front and understand what that end goal is, no matter what. And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. Trust me, you'll make it through it. We did. Okay, see, then there's your managing your time. So there's a presentation right there. Got a couple of other activities in there. You see, and then you see I posted a PowerPoint video that I posted myself. And a couple of other activities. So remember, your homeworks and other activities are going to be under the lessons folders in the specific units. So you have units 1 through 8 to complete between now and July 2nd, which is the last day of class. When you go to the discussion board, then you're going to see what our discussion board posts are going to be. So you saw in there that it asked you about discussions. When you click on them, that's going to let you in, so that way you can start a new thread and respond to the posts that are below. So most of the posts, I'm looking for 150 to 300 words. So my recommendation is to put that post in Microsoft Word or Pages first, get a word count, cut and paste it into your discussion board to make sure that you meet that word count. Because if it's too short, if it's not detailed enough, I'm going to ask you to please elaborate anyway before I grade it. So just make sure that you plan, to write more than 2 or 3 sentences total. This one says 3 to 5 sentences telling us about yourself, but we also want some additional information that's going to get you to 150 to 300 words. So in college, you write. It's kind of one of those things that you do, and we need to build your writing chops. How do you get better at writing? The best way to get better at writing is to write. See, and you only have a couple of discussion boards. So you got the intro, there's one that relates to time, one that relates to note taking, and one that relates to making healthy choices. And then this top one up here is ask the class. So that way, if there's some general questions that you need to ask either me or you want to post to the class, you can post those here. So like with the very first one, if you click on it, if you click on click create thread, then it's going to allow you to go in there. And this is where I was saying you put your title. I would go ahead and put your name here, so then that way I can have it at a glance. And then you can cut and paste or type in your response here. Just remember, with MyTCC, it's just like WebAdvisor. If you leave the computer sitting idle for too long, it will time out and it will delete your work. So that's what I was saying. You might want to do it in Word first, then cut and paste it once you're done, especially if you're multitasking, you have to get up and go do something else. And then you click submit, and it should let you submit right here, and it should let you go in there, and it'll send me a notification so I can go in there and I can grade it. So it's looking for your post and your response to 2 other people in the class at minimum. Okay, and then once you're done with all those parts, so your post and your responses, that's when I will grade your assignment. Okay. Your assignments checklist. This is what I was saying. I will post. I need to actually go ahead and make some updates to that. So I'm going to attach that document in here, but I'm going to put it in there sometime in the morning. If I decide to hold virtual office hours in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, they're going to be held in here. So I'd have to create a session, and then you would be able just to sign in on, whichever session works for you. You'll have a choice. Now, in the spring, when we tried to use Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, it kind of acted funky with some people's, devices, especially their phones. Which is why I tend to favor Microsoft Teams a little bit more. It's a little bit more compatible with those mobile devices. So chances are we'll probably be using Teams instead. So I will work on getting you all added to Teams. And that way, when we have our virtual office hours toward the end of the week and you want to drop in and ask questions about the assignments, if you want to introduce yourselves to each other, if you want a video chat with me, then you'll have that freedom to do that. Do you have to log into the computer at a specific time every day for the course? No. But I will have office hours scheduled at specific times, but you will receive that information ahead of time, and you'll be able to choose which time slot you would like to drop in on. It doesn't mean that you have to be there the entire time or anything like that. Or if you don't have a question, you don't have to sign in that particular week. That's just time that I am available to assist you, so you're not trying to chase me down while I'm in the middle of getting ready for peak registration. Over here, this is where you're going to be able to access your grades. Then you'll be able to see Tutor 24/7. So if you need tutoring for any of your other classes, then that's going to redirect you to one of our third-party partners where you can access tutoring at no cost to you. Now, in that case, you might not be able to get tutoring immediately, but if you have, let's say, like a paper due for English Composition 1 or speech or something like that, then you can submit it just like you can to the Writing Center, and you should be able to get somebody to respond to it within 24 hours. So it's not something that you want to do the day an assignment is due, but give yourself some lead time. The course evaluation is going to be here, so when it's time to evaluate the course, that's going to be here. There's also a link for it in WebAdvisor, so then that way we know what would you like to see us add to the course, what elements do we need to modify, especially with this online version of the course being new. We really welcome your feedback to see if maybe there's some different type of software we need to test out, if there's any other types of activities that maybe we can incorporate into the course. So that's your chance to kind of sound off and give us some ideas and some feedback to help improve the course. Because I'm not one that will sit there and teach the same course for the same 20 years, because that's how you get jaded that way. And if I get to that point, then y'all need to tell me straight up, it's time for you to retire. Yeah, you get jaded, you get burned out. And then you've got need help, and then the start here menu. So that is the gist of our course information and how to navigate through MyTCC. If you go all the way out of MyTCC, all the way out of our course, then remember, just like I was telling you on the previous video, the hashtag not anymore video is here. So you need to complete that. So let's say you registered for summer session, like summer 2. It will probably flag you to complete that video if you have not registered for fall 2020 yet. 9 times out of 10, if you have a hold on your account, it's probably due to that. Go through the entire session, do all the questions, get the little certificate at the end. It's going to time and date stamp it on your account. I will be able to pull it. And yeah, even us as employees, we had to do it too. It's on my account. It is date stamped, showing exactly when I finished it. And when I go back in there, I can see what time I started and I can see exactly what time I finished. It's printed on my certificate, and I had to turn that into my supervisor myself. If you need to go over to your MyTCC email, MyTCC, that's the official communication method for TCC. So we've been instructed that we're really not supposed to be responding to emails coming from your external, personal email accounts. Plus, sometimes they don't always make it through our firewall. Sometimes they go to our spam or our junk mail folders. So make sure if you are going to email me anything, or your other professors anything, that you are using your MyTCC email account. And when you click from here, it's going to link it straight over. You can also link it to your Gmail app on your phone. You just add the account on there, put in your TCC credentials, and you'll be able to access your TCC email from your phone or your tablet. So remember, it would fall under the Gmail app in that case. Outlook, y'all don't have to worry about. That's my other email account. That's my work one. And then, you've got tech support, the library, faculty and staff directory in case you need contact information for any faculty or staff member at TCC. That'll give you the email addresses and our extensions. All of our numbers begin with 817-515. Here's the information about the TCC tutoring and learning labs. So although we have ceased on-campus operations for the summer, we do have study sessions that are taking place remotely or that are being live streamed, especially for the math and the writing center. The career center is going to be doing some work as well. That's actually what I'm still waiting on. That's one of the parts I have not added into your class yet, because we're in the process of getting that set up. So South Campus is actually going to run that for me versus Connect. So my home campus is going to do it for y'all. And the thing I didn't mention yesterday in the other video is you'll see some of these TCC happenings. So if you have a financial emergency, there's an application that you can fill out for the Emergency Barriers Fund. So we do have funds that are set aside in case you find yourself in an emergency situation. Like, I don't know, your lights are about to get turned off, different things like that. If you qualify, we can try to get you some help with that. In the other email I sent you guys, I mentioned that we can check out computers and devices out to you all. We've been cleared to not only do TSI testing, but I got a notification earlier today talking about Alex PPL. So for those of you that maybe took pre-cal or calculus, especially like AP calculus and things like that, but you didn't take the test, but you want to try to test out of those courses, if your TSI met across the board, then you can try to test out of those college level courses. I have had students that took calculus 1, 2, and 3 outside the United States, and we were able to have them test out so they didn't have to take any of those classes here for like their engineering or computer science programs. But you have to be TSI met across the board first before I can give you that referral for the second test. And if you're testing remotely, the device has to have a web camera because there's going to be somebody monitoring your test. And then also here, anytime that you see TCC Plus, you'll see either a $sign or something that says TCC Plus about it. What that means is the textbook or the course information, like it could be a learning management software such as McGraw-Hill Alex, McGraw-Hill Connect, MindTap, My Math Lab, etc. That could be included in the price of the course, meaning you would pay for it up front. So if you click on or you select a course that is a MyTCC Plus or a inclusive access course, then know that you have paid up front for your materials. It's normally at a discounted price, it's cheaper, and you're set day one of class. You don't have to go contact the bookstore and try to scramble to get anything. It's going to be set up. But just keep in mind that, you know, if your tuition bill looks a little weird, that's why. A dead giveaway is if you actually see a change in your total versus, you know, an even dollar amount, then you know that's what you've signed up for. That's different than the supplemental instruction sessions, which kind of have like built-in tutoring into those, which if you're able to find a class like that, I highly recommend it. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. And then remember, Microsoft Office 365 is on here as well. So you should have everything that you need to get rolling for summer session 1. So we've taken care of Microsoft Office 365. I sent you guys that link that provides you with free to low cost digital textbooks, access to software, access to the internet. You can check out laptops or other devices from us to do your work. All you gotta do is log in, handle your business, and that's it. All right, y'all, so that's all I got for now. So if there's anything else that you have questions about, you know what to do. Send me an email. Once I get you guys set up in Microsoft Teams, then you are welcome to message me via Teams as well, so it won't get lost in my email. It'll pop up as a desktop notification, and I'll be able to respond to any questions that you have at that time. Until then, talk to you soon, and we'll see you on the next video. Good luck, and welcome to TCC. Take care.